Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. Friday of a long weekend, although I will tell you we're pre-recording several weeks before this long weekend. So all of us on the screen today are not quite there yet, but we're glad that you're there as you're listening to the show. It is Extension Office Friday, so we are chatting with Mark Sutphin. He is my extension agent. He is based in Frederick County. He serves all of the 5 surrounding counties. And Mark, the Extension Office is kind of the umbrella for the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardeners Association, right?
That's correct. So Extension Master Gardeners are volunteers who work in the local communities as extension volunteers, and they're working with educational programming related to home horticulture, so lawn and landscape issues, questions, growing plants at home, also best management practices and environmental issues concerned with the general public. So we have 160-ish Extension Master Gardeners in our 5 counties right now. Wonderful extension volunteers that just have so many great things going on. And I think we'll highlight a few of those this afternoon.
And we've got 2 of them with us on the screen. Bob Gale is joining us for the show today. Bob, how long have you been a Master Gardener?
I've been a Master Gardener for 5 years. I went into the program when I retired, and I've been very active, and I love every second of it.
Now, you've been a gardener, though, for a lot longer than 5 years, haven't you?
Oh, yes. I was a gardener with my grandfather back in the day.
And Elaine, how long have you been a Master Gardener?
I was part of the class of 2014.
So you guys really have a lot of experience between the 2 of you in a wide range of things.
Yeah, we dabble in everything. In fact, this morning I was at Belgrove spreading mulch on our demonstration garden there, which is why I'm glad people can't see what I look like right now.
Elaine is our current president of the association.
Should I refer to you as Madam President?
Certainly.
Well, and it's interesting that you talk about being at Belgrove this morning, because what we're going to talk about today is GardenFest, and it is back this year in person at Belgrove. How excited are you guys to finally be getting back to normal of sorts?
Well, we're thrilled, Janet. We started planning this plant sale as a virtual plant sale. And when the restrictions began to be lifted, we decided we would do it live, and we're thrilled. It's like reinvigorated. It's going to be great.
Elaine, how difficult is it when you start off planning an event like this that you assume is probably going to be virtual and then realize, oh, wait, we can do it in person? That brings a whole bunch of extra stuff on board, I would guess.
Well, actually, the switch wasn't too difficult. The challenge was when we were trying to do it virtual, and how to do online sales and how to get people through to pick up their plants. That became so overwhelming. And then fortunately, when we had I think our second planning meeting, Bob said, let's take a step back and maybe we can do it like we originally planned it. So then we've been doing this 14, 15 years. So then we could just go back to all the practices that we had in place from before. So that switch was very smooth and went really well under Bob's leadership.
So people are listening to this on Friday the 28th. The event is next Saturday, June 5th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Belgrove. Are you, Bob, going to have some COVID precautions still in place? Because it seems to change on a daily, if not hourly basis,
We
who has to
will.
do what and where.
Yeah, we will. Elaine is actually going to be our COVID enforcer,
COVID compliance officer.
compliance officer. So whatever restrictions are in place, we're going to practice those, and we want to keep everybody safe.
And
first
Elaine,
and
you'll be
foremost.
posting those on your Facebook page so people will know ahead of time if they need to bring a mask, if there's anything else that's going on.
Right. We'll have signs if we have to be 6 feet apart. We're going to paint the ground so people know what 6 feet apart is as they stand in line to pay for their plants. If we have to do that, still at that time, we will take
Yeah.
those precautions.
And Mark, this is a little bit different too. I mentioned before we started recording that I chatted with Tim Farmer earlier this month for the garden fair at Blandy that they actually had at the Clark County Fairgrounds, because UVA's decisions on restrictions were different than what the local or the state government was saying. You guys are kind of in that same boat because Virginia Tech is your umbrella.
That's correct. So Virginia Cooperative Extension is a cooperative partnership of Virginia Tech and Virginia State University, the two land grant universities in Virginia. And Virginia Tech is where our state administrative offices are held. And so we adhere to those Virginia Tech current policies. And as we've already alluded, those state and federal policies from the CDC and the governor of Virginia seem to be loosening, and hopefully we will see that happen as well. And again, whatever we need to adhere to will be posted on the Facebook page, and you can check that for current guidelines.
But Elaine, once I get there, it's going to feel and look probably a lot like it always has in the past. Give me a quick rundown of some of the things that are going to be happening that day at GardenFest.
Well, the key part of it is our plant sale, where there's a lot of plants that master gardeners have divided and bring to the sale. We also have other vendors that have plants and other things for the garden. We have secondhand rows, which is kind of like a yard sale with items, garden items.
Children's activities.
Oh, you're right, children's activities. So
Mhm.
a lot of the same things, but we do plan still to spread out just a little bit more, but they'll all be there.
You told me before we started recording, there are over 3,000 plants that are going to be available for sale. And these aren't plants that you guys are buying from somebody and then reselling. All of these master gardeners that Mark mentioned earlier are growing them, some from seed, some pulling them out of their existing gardens. These are local plants.
I like to say, Janet, that we know these plants will grow and you buy them because they were growing in our area by a master gardener, divided or grown from seeds. So we know they will grow in our climate.
And you guys have potting parties and all kinds of stuff in the months leading up to this event, don't you, Elaine?
Yeah, I think we start in late March with our potting parties so that we have enough plants for the sale.
And then do you know from year to year, like say hostas are crazy popular one year, do you kind of take that into account and think, okay, people really do love these hostas, and ask some of the master gardeners to maybe do a little extra hostas here or there so that you have more of them for the next year? I mean, how much of that kind of planning goes into these events?
We do have, over the past 3 to 5 years, pretty good records of what kinds of things are selling. And in fact, about 2 weeks ago, we had a call out for a certain list of plants that always sell but hadn't yet been divided. So some of our popular things like red hot pokers and other plants that hadn't yet been divided will be there now, because we did go back and look at the records and make a call out for some specific plants.
My favorites a couple of years ago were the pollinator packs, where I could get the little 6-pack or 8-pack of all the pollinator plants and come home and create my own little pollinator garden.
Unfortunately, we're not going to have those this year because it takes a long time to prepare those. And we decided to do live. And so it just didn't happen this year.
But a lot of these plants and the flowers that are going to be there are pollinators. You're just not gathering them together
Right.
in a packet for me to be able to bring home.
Right. And Janet, all 3,000 or more plants will be listed on our website and Facebook prior to the sale.
So I can kind of look at that list, print it off, and kind of make little notes so I can come with a whole shopping list. Because I know the one thing that I've learned over the years is you got to get there early.
Right. Well, on that list, you'll know how many we have. You're right, though. Get there early if you find something you really want.
And Elaine, how about the selection? You're talking about 3,000 plants. Are they all different kinds of all different things? Are there trees? Are there shrubs? Are they just plants? Kind of give me an overview of what people can expect to find.
A little bit of everything. There's house plants, a few annuals, lots and lots of perennials, trees and shrubs. Usually trees and shrubs might be one or two of each versus perennials we may have 30 to 50 so of a certain kind. Shade plants, sun plants, vines, a big selection.
And you mentioned vendors are going to be there again this year. What kinds of things are the vendors going to be bringing?
Some of the vendors, Blue Ridge Gardens, for example, will be bringing flowering shrubs and small trees. We're going to have candy soap and sea bath, homemade soaps and body products. 4-H is going to be there selling food and cold drinks. We'll have some native perennials. Seven Bends Nursery will also be there with perennials and peppers. We're going to have Valley Wildlife Care with educational animals, and they'll be selling trees and magnets. So we have the Virginia Gourd Society, the Virginia Master Naturalist, and a Broom Barn retail person there this year.
That sounds cool. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to keep talking about GardenFest. Again, it is happening Saturday, June 5th from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. We're going to get a few more details about that in the next segment, along with some of the other events and things that the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardeners Association has going on. We are pre-recording our conversation today with Mark Suppin from the Extension Office, along with Bob Gale and Madam President Elaine Specht from the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardeners. We'll come back and talk with all three of them more in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. We have, of course, pre-recorded it on the Zoom screen. It is GardenFest Friday. GardenFest is happening on Saturday, June 5th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Belgrove. It is hosted every single year by the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardener Association. Mark Suppin is here with me from the Extension Office. Joining him is Bob Gale and Elaine Specht from the NSVMGA.org. I'll go ahead and throw that in as a slide to the website. So, Bob, give me the details one more time about GardenFest. When is it? Where is it? And what can I expect to find when I get there?
GardenFest is our annual plant sale. It's held the first Saturday of every June. So this year it will be held on Saturday, June 5th from 8 to 3 at Belgrove Plantation. Obviously, our plant sale is the premier event there, but we're going to have other things going on at the same time. We'll have Master Gardener information booths. We'll have unique vendors and informative nonprofits displaying and selling goods. We have children's activities. There's an historic garden at Belgrove, and you'll be able to take tours of that. We have secondhand rose, which is like a rummage sale, and food. We have the 4-H will be there selling food. So we have lots of events. planned, and it should be a full day, and we're really looking forward to it. We weren't able to do it last year because of the pandemic, so we are very much looking forward to doing it live in this year.
And it doesn't cost me a dime to park.
Right.
It doesn't cost me a dime to get in. Everything is free right up until I start opening up my checkbook to buy all of those 3,000 plants.
That you are correct. Free admission and free parking.
Now, is it a pet-friendly event? Is it better if you leave your puppies at home?
Don't bring any pets to the event because there's a liability, and I won't get into that, but so we just prefer not to have any pets there.
Well, and sometimes when you have these outdoor events where you're expecting a lot of people, and again, there'll be some COVID guidelines in place, it's just not conducive for dogs to run around. So I know you guys have a bunch of other events that you're doing, have been doing throughout the pandemic, and you're doing going into the rest of this year. But this plant sale is your biggest fundraiser. It's what sustains you and gives you the opportunity to do these other things we're getting ready to talk about.
That is correct. This is our biggest fundraiser of each year. We do symposium, which funds our scholarship program, but the money from GardenFest allows us to do all the projects and all the communities in the 5 counties that we're in, educational events for children, adults, etc. And we pay for all that from the proceeds from the GardenFest.
Now, Elaine, I joked with you before we started recording because you're actually coming back to do the radio show with me on Tuesday as people are listening to this on Friday afternoon to talk about the garden tour. That's something that the Master Gardeners are very involved in.
Yes, and it's brand new this year. So we're testing it out to see how it'll work, and I can't wait to talk about it when I'm back.
And it's happening June 26th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, Elaine will give us all the details about that. But you guys do different kinds of children's activities. Strasburg has a community garden, and you guys have a bunch of children's activities that you do there pretty much throughout the summer and into the fall.
Yeah, that's correct. There are youth events happening 2 Saturdays a month at Strasburg. There are several Junior Master Gardener and other youth events that happen in Frederick County and Winchester, as well as the surrounding counties. So lots of activities, again, for youth, adults, help desks in the extension office, as well as live info booths at many of our farm markets in the area. There's really too many to talk about here at once, Janet. So I'll plug the website, nsvmga.org. That's stands for the Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardener Association. So nsvmga.org. And if you go to the events and programs tabs on that website, you will get an ample listing of events that are happening. Obviously, some have been modified or gone virtual. Some of our vegetable gardening series is a virtual event, as well as a few others, but you'll see a full listing there, plenty to keep you busy.
Elaine, I know you guys have that. Mark just mentioned the webinars. You've got a beginning vegetable gardeners webinar that as people are listening to this on the 28th, the first one has already happened. Can I still sign up for that one that's happening in June, the 2 in June and the 1 in July, even if I missed the first one?
Yeah, there is a limited number of space, but there's still space available in the ones that have not happened yet. So I do encourage people to go to the website and register for those, because once you register, then you'll get the link to do the Zoom to see those webinars. And the past ones have been recorded and are on our website as well. So if you missed the earlier ones, you still can watch all of them.
And I normally would get my seeds at the seed exchange that you've typically done at Blandy in past years, but you have seed libraries at a lot of the actual libraries across the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah, that's a brand new thing this year. It was a perfect pivot from not having the seed exchange to having a way to get seeds into the hands of other gardeners. So every single county now has a seed lending library in one of the libraries in the county. And it works that you check them out in air quotes, but you actually take the seed, grow what you grow, and then in the fall, when that vegetable or flower has produced, save some of the seeds and then turn it back in so that the next year somebody can have those seeds. So that's how that works. And that also is explained on our website and the specific locations of all the libraries that have the seed lending library in them.
I remember I learned how to pull and harvest seeds from an actual in-person seminar that you did. I believe it was a couple of years ago at GardenFest. I learned how to pull the seeds from my Mexican sunflowers and all of my plants. And you'd be proud of me because a lot of them are growing in the garden right now from seeds that I harvested a couple of years ago. How about that?
I'm very impressed. Good job.
So all of these events are on the website. Do you usually put them up on your Facebook page as well? Is that a good resource for people to also go get more information?
Absolutely. Go to our website and/or follow us on Facebook.
And Bob, you mentioned that one of the feature things that's going to be at GardenFest this year is the booth that the Master Gardeners set up where people can come and ask questions. Hey, is this a weed? Or what's eating my tomato? All of these random things. And you do those as well at a lot of the farmers markets. That takes a lot of manpower to get people into all of these different areas to set up and answer questions, doesn't it?
It does. I have to say we do it very well. We get lots of volunteers, and we've got at GardenFest, we're going to have some very seasoned master gardeners there who will be able to answer all of your questions.
And Mark, we talked to a couple of them a few months ago when we were talking about the green line, where you can actually call or stop and drop some things off if you have something that they actually need to see. And, Rich is one of my favorite green line people because he knew all the information about cicadas.
Yeah, that's a current topic, isn't it? We're seeing, I actually saw my first adult this morning, the day that we're recording. So here we are mid-May seeing them come out, and once every 17-year event.
I saw 2 this morning at the teaching garden in Belle Grove.
Yeah.
So it's beginning.
Yes, they are on their way here. And Mark, a couple of weekends ago, I was over at the Strasburg Farmers Market and was recording a show that aired a few weeks ago with Olivia. And I was talking to her as we first got there before we started recording for the radio show, and didn't realize I was standing in front of the Master Gardener's booth. And she said something in passing about the spotted lanternfly. And I launched into this whole, and you really got to be careful because if you're not in a quarantine zone and you go into one, you need to check your car because they're great hitchhikers, and I'm going, and these new Master Gardener guys had no idea who I was. And they're looking at me like, who is this woman that knows all of this stuff about spotted lanternfly? And I'm like, oh, please. I could have a degree in the spotted lanternfly at this point.
You've spent too much time with me, right?
Right? I told Olivia, I said, once they have flown into your hair, you tend to want to know everything about them and where they are and how to never let that happen again.
I'm glad you brought up spotted lanternfly, Janet, because I would like to mention that we will be inspecting our plants so that we're not going to turn GardenFest into a spreading event of spotted lanternfly. All the plants will be inspected by trained volunteers to make sure that they are pest-free when they go out.
Awesome. And Elaine, before we wrap up, will you tell me one more time the details about GardenFest?
It's June 5th, the first Saturday in June from 8 until 3. Come out, buy some plants at a great price, see some other vendors, and bring your kids for some children's activities. It's going to be a fun day.
Can I bring my own wagon? Because I know wagons are in high demand at GardenFest. Can I just bring mine and roll it around and fill it up as I need to?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. BYOW. Well, and we also will have some there that we borrow actually from Blandy. So we'll have those as well.
Fantastic. So nsvmga.org is the home base for all things Northern Shenandoah Valley Master Gardeners. And then for updates on COVID restrictions, updates on new vendors, plant varieties, things like that, follow you on Facebook because that's usually where you'll post new things as they come up.
That sounds right.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Well, Mark, another good job. Thank you so much for bringing me my people.
Certainly, Janet. Thanks for hosting us.
Get out, have a great long weekend. Again, it is Memorial Day weekend, and I will tell you that I have gone to great pains as you were listening to this on Friday afternoon, the 28th, to have already pre-recorded all of my shows next week. So I am taking a Valley Today holiday. You'll still get to listen, but I'm not going to be anywhere near a radio or anywhere near a microphone. So I am going to be off next week. But again, I mentioned Elaine will be back on Tuesday. She's going to give us the details for the garden tour. It's happening June 26th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But get out next Saturday on June 5th to GardenFest. I will be there. Just look for me. I might even try and find one of my orange garden hats and wear it around so I'll be easier to spot. I will be back on Tuesday for a new episode. So meet me here then.